Shit's about to get real offensive. I wouldn't say offensive, but probably just disturbing is the word. So,
oh man, I wish I had a sound drop of oh wow.
Let me pull this
when you
up.
said
So,
disturbing.
If anyone, have you guys ever heard of the band Lost Prophets?
I've heard of them.
I've never heard of them until I discovered this story. It's to me like it says on their wiki that they're a rock band, but it's like an emo band.
I have one of their CDs.
Yeah,
called Liberation Transmission or something like that.
Oh, you must support everything about them.
Yeah, so you support this guy.
I love this band. I stand by Ian Watkins.
Oh God, we're clipping that.
I'm totally kidding.
Yo, someone
I totally do not stand by Ian Watkins. I bought the CD. I bought the CD in a used bin, like before
after he got charged.
No, before he got charged, they were already like not very popular. But
well, you can see here the big like I mean, this is obviously years later, but just you can see like the difference in the way he looks being in.
Why does he look like Joaquin Phoenix in that photo on the left?
He kind of does, or he looks like looks like a metal Pete Buttigieg or something. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, so Ian Watkins is a Welsh former singer who was best known as the lead singer and frontman of the rock band Lost Prophets. And his career ended after he was sentenced to 29 years imprisonment in 2013 for multiple sex offenses, including the sexual assault of young children and infants and the possession of extreme child and animal pornographic material, a sentence later increased by 10 months for having a mobile phone in prison. His bandmates disbanded Lost Prophets shortly after his conviction. I wonder, like, that would be weird if they stayed together and like.
Wow, I didn't. I actually want to hear that band.
Yeah, and then they formed No Devotion with
Jeff Rickley's from Thursday.
Yeah, there's more on that too because they kind of tried to keep it going for a little bit after he left with Jeff Rickley, but it didn't really. They kind of lost all their momentum.
Yeah.
So this is kind of some Lost Prophets backstory. They were a Welsh rock band from the Pontypridd, formed in 1997 by Ian Watkins, guitarist Lee Gaze, and the group was founded after their former band Fleshbind broke up. They later recruited Mike Lewis on guitars, Stuart Richardson on bass, and Mike Chiplin on drums. So they released 5 studio albums, the first one being The Fake Sound of Progress, Start Something, which was their second one, which is where they really blew up.
That's like their big one.
Yeah. Then Liberation Transmission, which is the one I think you were talking about. And then The Betrayed in 2010, The Weapons. And then, so yeah, I think Start Something, they sold 3.5 million albums worldwide, achieving 2 top 10 singles on the UK singles chart. Last Train Home.
I had no idea they were that big.
Yeah, they were
pretty
huge.
big for a minute.
Number 1 single on the US alternative song chart, Last Train Home, and several Kerrang awards and nominations. So yeah, setting it up because it gets fucking like it's egregious. So to basically start, Watkins' abuse and misconduct with children was reported as early as 2008 to the police, and they kind of just didn't give a fuck. Like multiple people reported him, and they just kind of like swept it under the rug. They didn't care.
It's weird how that happens in Britain because remember there was that guy Jimmy Savile who was like a huge fucking famous, like he was like there with Captain Kangaroo, and then after he died it came out that he was like mass molesting kids.
Right. And he, like it says here, this included both sexual abuse and giving drugs, including cocaine, to children. Watkins' former bandmates claimed they were unaware of his conduct with children, as his drug use had begun to cause a heavy strain on the relationship with them. Watkins had requested his own private dressing room away from the other 5 band members, where much of the abuse of children allegedly took place. Like after shows, he would bring girls backstage and shit.
Okay, hold on though. Like, how far away is this dressing room?
That's the other thing that's interesting. Like the band members are kind of like I think later I've read that they kind of started putting out that they did know what was going on, and they just kind of like were not complicit, but they just didn't really do anything or like say anything at times.
Turned a blind eye kind of
Yeah. But this girl, Joanne Madzelix, an ex-girlfriend of Watkins, recalls him displaying multiple graphic images with minors or drug paraphernalia as early as 2010. Appalled by the content, Madzelix had made multiple complaints to South Wales police, though very little action was taken. She was one of the 6 people who had spoken to police in regards to Watkins' conduct from 2008 to 2011. In 2010, an Australian woman who had also come forward accusing Watkins of assaulting her child, though the allegations were not investigated any further, of course not. During the recording of the band's 4th studio album, The Betrayed, Madzelix was made aware by Watkins that he was abusing a 2-year-old child in California whilst the band was recording in Los Angeles. Madzelix contacted the child's parents, who had also reported him to Welsh authorities. Though again and again, no further action was taken to investigate the matter.
So, okay, that's interesting because, like, how did he get access to a 2-year-old child? I heard that he was like,
so basically, I don't know
his
if he touches on
kid
it
or something.
It was his girl. He had multiple girlfriends, and he had like a harem, not harem, but like an army of emo girls that were in love with him, like young girls.
Sure.
And so, I mean, maybe younger girls that had kids, maybe a little bit older. And he would like be like, if you want to be with me, you have to like weird shit like that. He would kind of like manipulate them. And I guess they would fall for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy shit. And I think it goes into more detail. So this is when he got arrested, because originally he got arrested for drugs, and then they kind of started digging deeper. So Watkins was first apprehended in June 2012 in connection with various drug charges, and he was granted bail shortly afterwards. He had already attracted attention from Welsh law enforcement after several friends reported
People
that
have
he
been
was
reporting him for years.
Yeah, like 17 people reported him. After they reported that he was regularly smuggling cocaine and methamphetamine.
If you have money and fame, you can get away with
exactly. Yeah. He was arrested again on the 4th of November for drug possession and a separate allegation that he possessed an obscene image of a child. He pleaded not guilty to the charges of possessing explicit material shortly after being granted bail yet again. Watkins performed his final show with the Lost Prophets on the 14th of November in 2012 in Newport, Wales, and he was arrested for the 3rd time on the 17th of December 2012 on another drug possession charge. During the search, officers discovered numerous indecent images of children stored on his computer. On the 19th of December, he was charged at the Cardiff Magistrates Court with conspiracy to engage in sexual activity with a 1-year-old girl and possession and or distribution of indecent images of children and extreme animal pornography. He was remanded in custody, as were his 2 female. Yeah. So this is basically, so the ladies that were kind of like dating him that were older, they got charged too for letting their kid like, get fucked up.
Yeah, they should be charged.
Yeah. So as his 2 female co-accused, his barrister said Watkins would deny the accusations. On the 31st of December, he appeared at Cardiff Crown Court via video link from Prison Park in Bridgen and was remanded in custody until March 11th. The case was adjourned until May, with the trial date set for the 15th of July at a hearing on June, blah, blah, blah. So on the 6th of June, it was announced that the trial would start. A previous application for the court venue to be moved outside Wales was denied. On November 26, Watkins pleaded guilty to attempted rape and sexual assault of a child under 13, but not guilty to rape. This was accepted by the prosecution, and then he further pleaded guilty to 3 counts of sexual assault involving children, 6 counts of taking, making, or possessing indecent images of children, and 1 count of possessing an extreme pornographic image involving a sex act on an animal. His victims included a baby boy, and he sent a text message to the mother of one of the victims that said, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." So that's the kind of shit he was doing to get these women.
I should have just waited till we got to this part.
No, it's all good. I mean, it was like reading this was just like, what the fuck? It gets crazier.
Yeah.
It gets crazier. This isn't even the worst part. Well, I guess that's probably the worst part. But the South Wales police investigation into Watkins, codenamed Operation Globe, required the cooperation of GCHQ to decrypt a hidden drive on his laptop, which was found to contain video evidence of his abuses. Investigators later bypassed the encrypted password to Watkins' laptop, noting that it read, "I f kids."
Oh my God.
On the 27th of November, the day after his guilty plea had been accepted by the prosecution, Watkins referred to his sex offenses as a mega lols in a recorded phone call to a female fan made from Prison Park. So like he didn't even give a fuck after he got charged. He called it a mega lols. He's like, "Oh, I'm just doing it for the mega lol."
Jesus Christ.
A sentencing hearing was held at Cardiff on the 18th of December. In mitigation, Watkins' barrister Sally O'Neill QC said that Watkins had no recollection of the case involving the attempted rape, but had belatedly realized the gravity of what had happened. After having developed an obsession with videoing himself having sex, Mr. Justice Royce sentenced Watkins to 29 years in prison with eligibility to apply for parole in 2031, so 6 more years. After serving 2/3 of his prison term, followed by 6 years of supervised release, his 2 co-defendants, the mothers of his victims, respectively received sentences of 14 and 17 years imprisonment. The judge, the senior judge, and I think the detective or whatever, said the case plunged into new depths of depravity. And here it is. The senior investigator officer on the case described Watkins as a committed, organized pedophile and potentially the most dangerous sex offender he had ever seen. So this last side is kind of here was the Jeff Rickley, Geoff. It was confirmed in 2014, it was confirmed by ex-Thursday frontman Jeff Rickley that he would be working with the remaining band members on their new project from a record label perspective through his own label, Collect Records, as a producer and also joining them as a vocalist. Rickley regarded their new material as having influences from Joy Division, New Order, and The Cure, and it was announced the band would be called No Devotion. And they released their first and second singles, Stay and Eyeshadow, on July 1st, 2014. And this is the last they heard of Watkins, I think, in November 2016. It was reported that Watkins' Twitter account had become active again. New clips of music had surfaced via 2 SoundCloud accounts, which were reportedly attributed to him, and the Lost Prophets website had been changed to a single page that described them as the straight-edge British metal band. The site domain has since become inactive as of 2023, redirecting to an unrelated dead URL. No further activity has been spotted from Watkins' accounts. So yeah, that is the insane story of Ian Watkins.
It's crazy how big that band was too.
That's why it's even crazier. And it's just like, it's one of those situations, like all the comments I saw on the videos I was watching, where it's like, it's one of those things where like people say you can't, or you have to remove the artist from their music, you know, but like, this is one of those situations where you just can't separate the artist from the art.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like impossible. I mean, he's just like, and the thing that's shitty too, is he, for the most part, doesn't give a fuck. He has no remorse. He's like, mega lol. Kids is my password. Like, dude, what the fuck? He probably would have went up to cops and been like, dude, I kids, and they didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
That could be the drugs too. Like if he was doing methamphetamine real heavy, like that can like really fuck up your brain to the point where you're just like a complete sociopath.
Yeah, and there's probably a little bit of like something probably happened to him when he was a young man. but
Yeah.
who knows? You know,
Most
like that is
people
just
that
crazy.
have those kind of like
I
those
just
kind
don't
of problems.
understand
Someone
a
did it to
person
them.
who is like, I mean, like you said, they were probably on drugs, but how are you letting that happen to your kid or like your baby? Some fucking
crazy.
jack off from some band. Like, it's just fucking, dude. The baby boy was 11 months old. It wasn't even a year old. Like, dude,
Yeah.
crazy shit. So
That's where I feel like all the people that ignored,
exactly.
like
it's like Diddy.
all
It's
the
like, oh, I
authorities
left the
that
parties
ignored
before
the
anything
reports, they should be charged somewhat too. You know, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that they went to, like, who, like, I don't know how you even do that though. Like, did you document the complaints, or maybe some of these people could just be saying that they to cover their own ass too. Like, oh, we tried to report them.
It's just crazy. The most evil singer for sure ever.
Yeah.
So if you think your singer's bad, this guy probably is one up.
Crimes against kids, I don't have a lot of sympathy for what happens to them. You know,
it's never okay.
Well, on a brighter note.
Yeah, thanks, Dryden.
You're welcome.